Hi, it's Sharon from Grace's neighbor Sharon. I hope you enjoy the video. It's time for the spring theme of Recreation Inspiration. It's hosted every month by Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun and Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack. This month's special co-host is me. So thank you for having me. Links to Charlene and Amanda's channels will be in my description box below, as well as a link to the playlist. Sit back, relax. Oh, I chose Ellie from DIY House to Home and Kristen Kay for my inspirations, and I'll mention which project is which in my videos. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Project number 1. Home Sweet Home Shelf Sitter. So we're starting with one of these chalkboard house shapes, a Home Sweet Home Cricut cutout, Dollar Tree ribbon and twine, and my blue and green chalk paint. So to start things off, there's Ellie's version on the bottom left there. And I'm going to make mine a different color, so I have to switch things up a little bit. So I'm going to do like a teal color, and then a green on top of that for the print. She did lavender and white, so I'm doing like aqua and green. So I noticed she did not paint her frame part of the house, so I taped mine up and chose not to paint or stain it. I did, however, mix together some green and blue chalk paint, and I painted the chalkboard part of the house twice, letting it dry in between, and then giving it a finishing spray before we moved on to the Cricut boards. So drying, just to show you how easy it is. Okay, then Ellie put a twine bow on top of her ribbon bow, so I chose to do that as well. Made the awareness shape, scrunched it together, and then wrapped the twine through the middle of the awareness shape bow. After I had that one together, I took the twine and wrapped it around my hand, and then affixed the two bows together with some hot glue. And it'll be together in just a minute here. Oh, I put a little ribbon in the middle. I do that sometimes. Tammy from Happiness Create does that a lot. She's like the expert at it. But I put that on there just because it was going to be easier to get the twine bow on top. And finally, they're together. It was meant to be. Had the bow ready. When I had the bow ready, I pulled the painter's tape off the frame edges, or frame, however you want to call it. And then I did a pretty short trim on the bow. Did a dry fit. Decided to put my Cricut words right at the very bottom. And even though I chose to lower the pressure on my Cricut Joy, I still had trouble getting my words on the transfer tape. However, my transfer tape has a grid on it, which I really like. So it was easy to get it centered. You see me checking with the ruler there and realizing I can just line up the grid. At this point, I just need to take my Cricut tool or Dollar Tree Cricut tool. And then I'm going to peel back the transfer tape. I'm actually almost finished here. Well, I thought I was almost finished. There's the spray. I did it before the words and after the words. And I thought I was finished here. I zoomed in for a close-up. And then when I looked back at Ellie's inspiration piece, I realized she had put her bow on the actual house at the top, but not actually on the frame. So I did go ahead and change that up. And I like it better. But what do you think? Should I have just left it? Either way, I think it looks great. Better look, final review. Project number 2. Floral Plaque coat hanger. Okay, so I have a few pieces here. There's Kristen Kay's inspiration piece in the bottom left. She used different fabric, of course, and she used a clipboard clip instead of a coat hanger. But I didn't have any of those clips, so I have lots of coat hangers because I love making coat hangers. So I also have like a sawtooth thing to hang it, and I have my choice of fabrics. I have some silver chalk paint that I'm going to paint the gold coat hanger with because I'm not a gold person. And then the plaque has already been Mod Podged once. So to start things off, I'm going to use a Dollar Tree paint dabber, a foam paint dabber, to dab on the silver paint. And the silver paint gets really gloppy on the bottom. I'm constantly having to stir it all up and get things mixed up well. So I really have to get the glop from the bottom, so to speak. And then just use the foam dabber. And I'll keep doing that during the project just to get a couple layers on it, make it look really silver. I picked what I thought was a good spring fabric. And I wish I had been a little bit more careful about cutting it out. Like, I wish I had cut out the exact shape. I'm so used to doing it with paper where I am inexact about the cutting and then sand it down. But I discovered that this fabric doesn't sand well, even when it's really dry, with 2 coats of Mod Podge. So I learned a little bit. You'll notice me trimming, just trying to get it as precise as possible. So I got the fabric on, I got the Mod Podge on, I let it dry. Now I'm putting this sawtooth hanger on the back. And I didn't measure, but, I did double check a few times to make sure it was straight and that the plaque was, more or less upright. And then I take the coat hanger hook, it's dry now, and I set it a little more down than in the middle because I want to be able to see the pretty fabric when something is hanging on it. I hold the hook in place and then use my little drill here to do some pilot holes. Now, I should have used a smaller bit. It's okay. It's just that when I screwed in the screws, they weren't super tight like I wanted them to be. But yeah, changed drill bits to screw in the little screws. And I also painted the screws. Got the screws painted in, and this project is pretty much complete. And this piece wasn't an exact recreation of Kristen Kay's because I didn't have the same supplies she did, but I more or less borrowed the concept, which I think is also part of being inspired by other creators' creations. So you'll see me trying to finish things up by using just a regular pair of scissors to trim, and better look at the final reveal. Project number 3. Floral Bunny Shelf Sitter. I'm going to use some chalk paint, chalk couture paste in the single packets, this Dollar Tree bunny that came in a pack of 2, and some chalk couture stencils. There is my inspiration piece from Ellie at DIY House to Home. So this project is as easy as paint, stencil, Jenga block, done. So let me show you how easy it is. I'm using my oatmeal chalk paint to paint my bunny because I have absolutely no white left. I'm sorry, I have glossy acrylic white, but no way would it look good on this. So I'm going with my oatmeal. It's a wee bit darker than I would like, but it'll work. These are brand new stencils, and I forgot to fuzz them, but they were totally fine. But I do recommend fuzzing them because that's what they recommend. So this is also a brand new scraper. It's a little bit bigger than I needed, but I wanted to try it out. I believe it's just called an angled scraper, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Anyways, I had this teal in a packet that was already open, and I knew it would look fantastic, just like the words in the previous project look. So I'm basically just doing some random florals from the All You Need Is Love stencil. And you'll see me spread it around, make sure I'm getting a nice even coat, and then I'll check it, and if I'm happy with it, I'll move on to the next floral image. And I just keep doing that. I really wasn't sure when I started exactly how I was going to do it, so I just looked at the shape of the bunny and the shape of the images that I had in my stencils and went from there. I did go ahead and dry what I'd put down so I didn't smudge it before I went on to the next stencil. And this one is actually meant for a home stencil project, but I thought the floral shapes would be perfect for my bunny. So I'm doing the exact same thing. Well, I actually put the paste down in between the openings because I noticed Melissa from All Things Crafty accidentally just put blobs of paste and it actually showed up. So I went ahead and put the blob down in between the floral images so it wouldn't be noticeable. And again, just spreading the paste around. And I was surprised at how much paste I could get out of that single packet because this is like my second use and I still didn't use it all. So what do you guys think about using these stencils in unexpected ways? I think it's one of the things I was looking forward to doing when I decided to start doing Chocateur. So let me know what you think about that, or are you like hesitant and just want to use the whole thing together as one? I think piecing them together is kind of fun. Once I'm done, I do take a break to make sure the stencils are thoroughly washed. I use cold running water and just use my finger and thumb to wipe the paste off. When I'm done with that, I come back and I start embellishing my bunny. I have this really cool Live, Love, Laugh ribbon, and I did the same thing I always do. I made an awareness ribbon shape, scrunched it together in the middle, wrapped it with twine, tied a nice tight bow in the back, and then just picked a good spot to glue it down on the bunny. I don't think it matters if you do it on the ear or the neck. I think either one would look just fine. I'm going to go ahead and glue this single Jenga block, the wide side against the bunny, because the bunny is so thin and so lightweight that it doesn't really need a big sturdy block to sit it up. So this is it, guys. Better look at the final reveal.